Jonathan from Rain Brothers here, rainbrothers.com. Today I'm going to go over installation of our JED Ozone Generators onto a rainwater catchment system. Ozone generators are fantastic for oxidizing the water, keeping it fresh, keeping the bacteria down, and keeping algae at bay. The easiest way to install a ozone generator on a cistern is to mount it on the riser itself. So ideally, you're going to have several inches of riser above grade. We recommend at least 6 to 8 inches above grade on the riser so that groundwater doesn't penetrate into the cistern. And if you have that, then you can mount this ozone generator right on the top of the riser, just like that. There's two eyelets for screws, but you definitely want to keep it close to the cistern, and it has to be open to fresh air so that there is a fresh air intake on the ozone generator. So it can't be mounted inside the cistern, it has to be mounted outside where fresh air can come in. You can mount it on a post nearby the cistern, just within reach of a GFI receptacle for plugging in the generator. Off of the generator there is 1/4 inch tubing, and this tubing of course will extend into the cistern. At the end of the tubing you'll push an air stone in, and you can put all this tubing into the cistern, but you want to make sure that this air stone doesn't go more than 4 feet into a water supply. So with this low profile cistern, it's perfect. You can stick this air stone right on the bottom of the cistern with no worries, because the maximum height of this cistern will never exceed 4 feet. So this generator can push that air into the 4 foot of water. With a deeper cistern, you want to consider tying off a tether to a float, some sort of flotation device that will that has a 4 foot length of tether to it, so that as the water rises and falls inside the cistern, this air stone never exceeds the 4 foot depth of the maximum ability of that generator. So what we're going to do to install the system is, first we're going to drill a hole in the riser. And we want it big enough, of course, for this 1/4 inch tubing. So now that we have our hole drilled, we're going to snake this 1/4 inch tubing through there. You want the hole to be pretty snug to the tubing, and we're going to keep pushing until we get just inside the riser. And then we're going to stick our air stone onto that tubing. There's no clamp or anything, you just push it on and keep feeding the tubing through till it reaches the bottom of the cistern. Once the air hose is snaked into the cistern riser, we want to put a little bead of silicone around that hose just to make sure that that's sealed off and no dirt or groundwater can get into that point. And then we're going to simply mount it right here to the lip of this riser with two screws. You can also mount it on the lid of the cistern. Sometimes that's a better approach, because the depth of your final grade is going to be deeper than this box. If you do that, make sure to face the fresh air intake away from the direction of the storms usually roll in from, just so that water doesn't get into that air intake there. But the ozone generator at that point is ready to be plugged in. We do recommend plugging it into a timer and setting the timer to run this ozone generator just an hour a day. And an hour a day will keep this water fresh, and it will extend the life of the generator. You don't need to run it 24 hours a day. That's overkill for something like this. We're just trying to keep bacteria in the tank down to a minimum or a complete elimination, and we're trying to keep this water fresh, which will help downstream on our other filters inside the home. Thank you so much for watching.